Tunes 92.5, 104.5, 9 minutes after 7 o'clock. The tragically hip Bob Cajun. That is kind of one of those things we'll be playing a lot of over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. Obviously, with all that's going on with the band out there and dealing with some adversity, we like to hear our friends from across the lake found their way out of Kingston, Ontario. So, hey, we got a special guest in the studio. Good morning, Bob Gorman from United Way. How are you this morning?
Great, Adam. Thanks for having me in.
Well, thank you so much for getting up so early and coming in and talking with us. The struggle is real, man. Getting up early.
Getting up early isn't the hard part. It's getting up early and talking. That's the issue.
I always shoot for marginally interesting. If I can be marginally interesting, we're fine. So, how are things going on over at the United Way these days?
Well, doing great. We have right now we're preparing some programs for the fall. That's our annual kickoff event. So, got to do a lot of work now to benefit when that starts in September.
The groundwork begins now. Yeah. Well, I found it very interesting. I mean, I grew up hearing about the United Way for years and years, and it's been around for a very long time, and you're just tipping me off. This is September is going to be the 95th anniversary of the United Way. That's pretty impressive.
That's right. In 1921, a group of leaders in Watertown got together, and they wanted to create an organization that already was being created, similar type organizations across the country.
Right.
And so basically the United Way concept was created in Denver. In the 1880s. There was a fire in downtown Denver, and a group of ministers got together and decided to pass the hat. They figured if everybody threw in a little bit of money, they'd have enough money to help the families that lost their homes.
Right.
And out of that concept, communities around the country started saying, wait a minute, what if we have an organized pass the hat in which everybody can give a little bit of money, and then we have enough money to take care of people who have a crisis.
Yeah. And
so the term that came out of that was community chest.
Oh, like Monopoly.
Just like Monopoly. I always tell people, you play Monopoly, there's two cards that you can get in the center of the board. Community chest or chance.
Yeah.
You want that community chest.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't want to take the chance.
No,
so.
The community chest is always good stuff.
That's right. So out of that, the community chest concept was, let's not wait till someone has a problem.
Right.
Let's fundraise and have everybody throw money in the hat so we already have money and we can meet a need when it happens. And so I know it's people want to say, oh, somebody had a tragedy, let's all get together, and we should do that. There's no reason not, we should do that. But at the United Way, we say somebody's going to have a house fire next year. Somebody's going to have a child born with a developmental disability.
Right.
Somebody is going to have a teenager suddenly have a drug and alcohol problem. There's going to be a behavioral health issue, mental health. There's somebody's going to have a issue with sight. All these different things that happen in life, and the idea that we want to wait till the tragedy occurs and then rally support, well, that's good, that's okay, that's one way of looking at it, but we look at it, let's plan ahead.
Yeah, being a little proactive, making sure that you can come in and step in and help immediately. I think that's part of it. And I think, too, when it comes to understanding how the United Way works, you guys, obviously you move the funds out into the community in different ways, but you also do a lot of the hard work of making sure that wherever the money goes, it's a good, I guess, a good place. I mean, there's so many places out there that, hey, I'm going to start a Kickstarter program online and, donate to me. And you would kind of wonder, is that going to the right money? But you guys you'd make sure that it's going to the right places and helping the right people.
Well, our nonprofits apply for a grant, and part of the process of getting that grant is they actually have their application reviewed by a committee of volunteers, and actually it isn't United Way staff who decide who's getting the money and how much. We actually have people in our community who are looking at the amount of money we raised, looking at the application and the need of that organization.
Right.
And then making a recommendation to our board of directors and saying, out of the money you raised, we believe you should give this much money to this organization. And so we're doing that every year. We're making sure nonprofits have their 990s, that they're following New York State charity law. I actually meet with boards of directors for all the nonprofits that are our partner agencies, and because I want to make sure they have a strong board of directors.
Right.
We don't work with nonprofits that are a Lone Ranger type outfit. Where
Fly by night. Yeah.
It's an executive director,
right,
and nobody else is providing any input.
Right.
At that point, we're going to look at it and say that may not be in the community's best long-term interest, because we're looking at nonprofits and saying we want you to be transparent, accountable, and sustainable. Because if you give me money and entrust me to use it the right way, and I give a large grant to a nonprofit that goes out of business in the next year,
right?
You've thrown your money away.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so that's where some of the heavy lifting behind the scenes work actually occurs. Now, we're not always telling everybody, the review process is going on. Most people only care about how much money we give out,
right?
How much money we raise. But that heavy lifting behind the scenes ensures our community is helping agencies that are going to make an impact in the community.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that when folks give to the United Way, that's how it works. They have that confidence behind it. I do want to talk a little bit about something that it's on your website. It's been on the news, and it's going to get on the news a lot more because it happens in September. The Over the Edge for Northern New York. Tell me a little bit about this. This is very, very interesting in my opinion.
Well, we wanted to do something a little different for our 95th anniversary as we're moving towards our 100th. And last year I started talking with a company that does rappelling. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. And they have it all set up where they'll come into your community and as a fundraiser, and they just work with nonprofits. Mm-hmm. And they've been doing this for about 7 years, so we are contracting with them. They'll be here on September 17th. Mm-hmm. We're going to allow 95 people. They sign up and raise some money for us.
Right.
They will be allowed to rappel down the Key Bank building right here in downtown Watertown.
That is going to be a fun event. 95 brave people that will be allowed. And of course, the idea is you got to go over to the website. Let me just make sure I give the correct website here. UnitedWay-NNY.org.
Right.
And then right over on the right-hand side, you'll see Over the Edge for NNY. You click on that to learn more, and you'll see right there you can register, you can donate, and you'll get all the information for Over the Edge for NNY. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, to register, it's $100 to register, and then we give you a social media page that you can easily send to people on Facebook or email the link, and on your page you have the option or opportunity to put a photo of yourself and tell your story.
Okay.
I'm doing this because I want to accomplish this. And so, and then people can donate through that website. The first person signed up actually was my wife. She's already at $590, so it's $1,000 minimum.
Did the conversation go like, I'm going over the edge, Bob. You've sent me over the edge.
Yeah. Wasn't as soon as she heard about it, she said, I'm going. And it was interesting when I was talking to the company last year, I said, well, who would do this? Is it mostly young people? And when you're my age, everybody's a young person. And they said, well, actually, you're going to get a lot of bucket listers, and you'll end up with more women than men.
Really?
And so far, the calls that I'm getting of people wanting more information have been almost 50-50, but there's, I'd say, a few more women than men.
So it's proven true. Okay. Well, I guess, that makes sense when you think about it a little bit more. Yeah.
So the other thing that I'm excited about is we work with a lot of nonprofits that work with people who have disabilities.
Okay.
And this company actually, in their fundraising history, have worked with organizations that, like Special Olympics or organizations that feature people with disabilities, and they've been able to actually help some of those people rappel. So 2 of the people that have signed up already are blind.
Interesting.
And this, but we have other nonprofits are actually looking, working on their clients and saying, well, who's capable of actually doing this, knowing what they're doing, going over. They might not be able to run a 440 over at the track at the high school. But this is something they can do. This company actually specializes in helping somebody who, with some guidance and care, and they can harness them up and help guide them over. We have 2 ropes at all times going over, but they will. One of their tech people will actually get on the rope next to the person and go right down the wall with them and help guide them to do it. And so I've talked to people who have survived cancer, and they want to say, well, I beat cancer. I want to show off a little bit here.
Right.
We're saying if people want to honor someone or remember somebody, this is a way to do it as well. We're allowing people, since we're raising money for nonprofit partners, if somebody wants to actually say, I want to designate my money to one of your partner agencies, they can do that as well. So a couple of people that have already signed up, one's doing it for the Association for the Blind, another person's already signed up and designating their money for Urban Mission and the Meals on Wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to draw attention to our partner agencies. I mean, that's United Way. We raise money, and people think we're raising money for the United Way, but not really. We're raising money and bringing recognition
To all the partners.
to our partner agencies and explaining to the community why they're important to have in the community and the interrelationship of the nonprofits.
Well, I'll tell you, I always like having you come in and tell us about what you got going on and that kind of thing, because always interesting, and I love that you're out there and helping the community, and like you said, helping the partner agencies. And I just want to pass this information along once again. If you're interested in learning more about Over the Edge for NNY, you need to go to unitedway-nny.org. For more info, you can do that right there. Thanks so much for coming and talking with us this morning, Bob.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to get back to the requests in just moments. First up, we're going to hear from Beyonce. Single Ladies Put a Ring on It. That's next on Tunes.